right, guys, welcome back to the show. This is Full Circle with Joyce, and right now we're jumping into personal development, specifically wanting to talk about how to turn setbacks into leaps forward. I'm here with Mr. James Mbele, who's actually a best-selling author on Amazon. Congratulations to you, and welcome to the show. Good to have you this Monday morning. And here is his book. Is this your first book, only book?
First book, yes.
I'm
doing others.
You're doing others.
Yes.
And this one's called Beyond Success, here with Mr. James Mbele. Tell me a bit about your story and maybe some of the setbacks that inspired you to write this book.
My name is James Mbele. From the eastern part of Kenya. And I grew up from the village. And went through a lot of difficulties in, going through education, because I come from a family where there was literally nothing. So I used to have a lot of occasions when I would be in and out of school. Mm-hmm. But as life went on, I finally went into marketing, and I qualified with Chartered Institute of Marketing UK. I'm actually a member, way back in the 90s. Then I worked for different institutions where I was in marketing, and I marketed around Kenya. But one time I came across somebody who saw much in me than I saw. And he indicated if I went into personal development, where I would be dealing with people on how to help people get out of whatever they would be doing and jump into what you call success in life would be good. And I came across a lot of setbacks, of course, which on going into personal development, I learned from those who made it that the secret is never, ever to give up. And every time you fall down, you're supposed to wake up and not remain there. And that is exactly what I started doing. Right. And within a short period, I saw myself climbing into starting giving motivation to different people. Yeah. Started with schools, went into organizations, and started traveling internationally. I've actually traversed more than 30 countries, giving personal development speeches. Wow, well which done. Has really affected a lot of people positively.
All right. That's I mean, congratulations to you. That's quite significant success. And even the title of this book is also interesting, because you're calling it Beyond Success. In fact, here at the back, you're saying that true success is so much more than merely passing a certain milestone or reaching a single fixed goal. Because already success for us, we have it defined in one way. But you're sort of challenging people to go beyond success. What is there that is beyond success?
See, from experience, because I've interacted with people from different cultures all over the world, talking of Africa, from northern up to West Africa. I've stayed a lot in Nigeria, stayed a lot in Ghana, up to South Africa, all the countries. The only country probably I've not been to would be Chad. Otherwise, the rest, and Somalia, I've been to. Okay. I've come to realize that many people limit themselves, the scope they can achieve. And that is what gives people a lot of that just normal lifestyle, where you live in rented houses, you just have to be struggling to live, you see? Because formal education will make you a living. But informal education, which is what I went for, will make you a fortune.
How did you go for informal education?
I came across somebody who indicated to me that if I went into a business learning, where you learn more about why people succeed much better than others, it would help me. And it involved a lot of investing in yourself, investing in your mind. So I had to read a lot of books. The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Yes, all those books. And then The Business of 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. So I had to acquire all that knowledge into me, which then triggered the understanding that you become the person you think all day long.
Yeah.
What the thought you have about Joyce, that thought you bear the whole day makes you become the person you want to be. And in most cases, our people make mistakes of mixing with people who have not attained anything in life. So the social groups, the people you meet, the people you talk to, day in, day out, dictate a lot on who you become. So I had to check on all that, and it helped me a lot, because if you start living with people who probably live in Lavington, Karen, Kilelesho, and others, you'll find your mindset working round the clock so that you can also be like your colleagues. If they are living on the other side of it, and that is anywhere, like Umoja, Komorong, and other places, you're okay, and you'll find life for 20 years still okay. But the moment you expose yourself to different society and you start looking at different things every day, life changes. So the limitation of the scope we can achieve is the worst bit in life.
Interesting. And so then you're saying success is not just this material stuff. Like, there has to be more than just having a big house, driving a fancy car. It's about the impact that we're leaving behind.
See, when it's in your mind, because we are told, invest more in yourself than anything else. And that asset, the beauty with it is that it is transferable. You can move it from one person to another. Like now, I've traversed so many countries. In many places, you get to the airport and you find people waiting for you because they are coming to acquire the knowledge you are going to give him. So that legacy you leave behind by sharing what you've acquired and sharing it generously with others is the most important thing. You'll also learn that many of our people major in criticism, and they spend most of their time talking about other people's affairs. That time wasted should be used in complimenting people and telling them good things about themselves. And anybody who is complimented in the morning, that person will be very successful in whatever he does that day. Why? Because somebody said something good to him. That is one element which has caused a lot of stagnation in people's lives. There is also an element of belief. Many people do not have that attitude, the characteristic of wanting to believe in yourself and the believing that what you have and what you do, you're gonna succeed in it. Just that attitude of a lion, where you got to believe, although you're not the biggest in the jungle, you're still the king of the jungle. Why? Because you can jump on an elephant and just start feeding on it. It is in itself.
So speaking of that jungle, because the truth is there are many people who at this moment may find themselves in all sorts of trouble, and perhaps they are in the midst of a setback right now. What would you advise them as far as how to get out of it? Because the truth is we have emotions. We're human beings. We get hurt. We feel low sometimes. And so maybe one is processing something bad that has not gone their way, or something that has happened that has been tragic. How does one pick themselves up from that situation when maybe this was something that you had really believed in, you had really put in your effort and invested your time and energy into? How does one pick up from that setback?
Wonderful. That's a good one. See, like there is one person called Robert Schuller. You've heard of Robert Schuller. He said that tough times don't last, but
tough people do.
Tough people do. If it's in everyone's mind that times could be hard on you, but you only need patience, because that will pass and you'll still be the same person again. Remember, we were told by somebody, one of the legendaries in the world, Martin Luther Jr., that in case you fall down, never remain there for long. Wake up immediately, and if you can fly, please do so. If you can't fly, run. And if you can't run, walk. And if you can't walk, crawl. By all means, face forward, never face backwards. Always wake up out of any situation. So getting into difficulties, nobody never failed in life. Anybody who is wealthy today, that person, if he tells you he has had a lot of setbacks, but he believed in the power of waking up every time you have a problem. We have a lot of setbacks. Like in this book, Beyond Success with James Mele, there is a lot of information on how people failed but ended up doing very well in life. You will excel on condition you do what? You keep on waking up.
Yeah.
And condition your mind that you are born a winner.
And I guess it really goes back to then one's own personal resolve, doesn't it? Because as you're saying, we're in the same economy. There are some people who are thriving from it, while others are really, really struggling from it. And it reminds me of that quote that says, you know what, hot water, it either boils an egg. The same hot water that boils an egg also softens, I don't know, a potato or something else.
Sure.
So it's really about what you're made of.
It hardens the egg.
It hardens the egg and softens the potato, exactly,
Sure.
sorry.
Sure.
And so just to say that it's really about what you're made of. And that, I guess what you're made of begins with your mind.
Sure. And something I need to mention, which is very vital and the most important. Everyone who has ever succeeded is told that you must always set goals. You must have dreams on who you want to become. And if Joyce was to set a goal that in the next 2-3 years, Joyce must be driving the latest BMW in town, and Joyce should be spinning that BMW to her premises in Karen, which purely belongs to Joyce. Once you have that in mind and you start working towards that, you eventually get to that. Even if you'll not have the house in Karen, you'll have it somewhere else in Runda or somewhere else. You know, it's a power of setting goals is what make a lot of people in life not get far, because they don't have something set to achieve. And when you have something set to achieve, as you're working towards that, you learn a lot of things, because you have to divide it into small goals. You can't achieve one major goal like now the BMW. You have to ask yourself, what do I do so that I can start rising up to the level I want in 2 years?
Right.
You see, that's the most important thing.
But how do we reconcile that? So how do we set goals that still allow us, once we accomplish them, to not end up with this sense of emptiness that really we find a lot of people who've been very successful? If you remember a few years ago, there was a very famous actor who took his own life. I mean, and he's a Hollywood star. You know, you have the fanciest cars, you have everything that you could want. So how do we set the type of goals that, fine, get us to where we want to be, but at the same time don't leave us with that emptiness, so that we stay true to what you're saying here, which is that for some people it's about achieving a certain lifestyle. It's about a level of status or a comfortable income. And while all of those are worthy goals, their accomplishment leaves many of them wondering what's next.
Okay, like you're talking about emptiness. When somebody reaches that goal, then he asks where he was due. See, in the process of doing that, we are supposed to look for a mentor. Who is a mentor? A mentor is somebody who has already achieved what Joyce is looking for. Somebody who has already achieved what you want in life. And he will give you, like every athlete, every artist, and every footballer and others will always have a coach. The coach might not be as good as yourself, but he keeps on advising you on what to do day in, day out.
Right.
You're supposed to be very coachable. You're supposed to be very teachable. As you're doing that, your mentor will make sure that he will keep on also encouraging you to keep on upgrading your goals. You don't stick on one goal. Just buying a car will not be enough for Joyce. Joyce needs also to have what she can do to help others aspire and get to where you've gotten. So you'll keep on changing your goals and adding your goals. In fact, we are told you should have a pen and paper every day you go to sleep next to you, because in the night you might have a very good idea. Wake up and note it down.
Okay.
And keep on doing so, and your goals will not just be at the level you've set them.
Yeah.
They will always be adjusted accordingly, day in, day out.
All right. Before I let you go, I want to go through just the way this book is organized. Very interesting reading through the table of contents. Are these other books that you've sort of, these are all books, are these book titles that you've read through? Because I see different names of people here. Talk to me about how you've structured the book.
Okay, out of my having seen a lot of books in personal development and listened to a lot of videos, you definitely come across online people who are doing what you're doing and some who are much more successful than yourself.
Okay.
Then we actually partnered, came together as authors to co-author this first book.
Oh, okay.
To co-author as different authors in different parts of the world. If anyone who goes through this book will have material from, we got authors from Australia. We got the main author, my co-author is called Matt Morris.
Okay.
Matt Morris, you've heard of him.
Yes.
Is one of the most prominent successful author in the world, and also is very good in mentorship. He's always on TV daily, mentoring people all over the world.
Right.
These are people I met when I started my personal development career.
Wow.
And I got to a level because of my goals. My goal from when I started in 2012 was to end up sitting in a place where I can write books to help humanity.
Okay.
To make people understand it does not matter the circumstances and conditions you are at right now. You might be from a family where there is no much. Don't limit yourself because it's not your mistake to have been born in a family where there is nothing. But in case you continue, you are 40 years, 50 years, and you are getting to the other world, and you've not achieved anything, then we blame you.
Okay. Okay.
But where you come from is immaterial.
All right.
Your mother, your father is immaterial. Don't tell anybody about history of where you come from.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's very impressive because there's at least 30 different authors here, and these are all people that you've engaged with.
Coming together, yes.
Wow. Very well done. And this is the best-selling book.
Yes.
All right. So tell us, how can people get it? Is it only on Amazon? Can they get hard copies?
We can only get this book from Amazon.
Okay.
Because it's selling from Amazon, and anybody can access. The information has been spread in over 200 top channels in the US.
Wow.
You can see
by
some of them.
By the time you're on CBS News, ABC, NBC, and Fox, that's quite impressive.
Yes, if you just go into that, you still get a copy because you can buy it from any of the links there.
All right.
Yes.
How much is it on Amazon?
On Amazon will be $9.50, but by the time it reaches your place, it will definitely be more, depending on the shipping cost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not much, but at least there will be cost element on the shipping.
All right. All right. Wow. Thank you very much, James Mbele, for this conversation. Really, I mean, wow, you've read a lot. And I think you're right. Knowledge is power.
Currently, I'm doing a lot of mentorship.
Young people can do for themselves.
I'm doing a lot of mentorship to different colleges, universities, students, also individuals, organizations. I give personal development coaches, motivation. And
are you on social media?
Yeah, sure.
You can give us your details.
Yeah.
On social media, how do we find you?
Oh, you'll find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. I'll actually give that to you. I have it on.
Okay.
Everything is here.
All right. All right. Well,
at the back side of it.
Let me share it with our audience then. You can follow his website. It's www.jamesmbele.com. And you can also catch up with him on social media. On Facebook, it's James Mwinde Mbele. On Instagram, James M. Mbele. On Twitter, at JM Mbele James. And on LinkedIn as James Mbele. So thank you very much for coming through. Thank you for your time. We do appreciate you. And hopefully you guys have picked up a nugget or two there, particularly even just about, I like that informal education that you're saying. So even if you can't afford to go to university, pick up a book, even if it's secondhand, borrow from someone. Just make sure that you're learning something new every single day. So asante tena. And with that said, we're going to take a short break now as we get ready for our next segment. We're going to be focusing in on tech and innovation, particularly now looking at revising textbooks into digital material. Stay tuned. This is Full Circle with Joyce.